Hey everybody, it's Josh Ellsworth with Stalls and Stalls Transfer Express, and I'm excited to go live with you here on a Monday here at Stalls because we have some exciting announcements that I want to share with you. So some of you probably already know what's happened already, but in case you don't, we have a couple major updates to our UltraColor MAX Direct to Film product line. So in this live, not only am I going to share with you some background about UltraColor MAX and its benefits, we're going to share with you live the new updates. We're going to actually have a discussion with a business owner that's using UltraColor MAX in her business and look at some actual real life job examples, talk through them and how these updates are going to be able to deliver some time back to the business and really change the business for the better. I'm confident that if you stick with us for the next 20 to 30 minutes, that you will get some ideas for your business and hopefully reach those apparel decoration goals that you have in 2023. So it's good to see you all watching live on YouTube, also on Facebook and LinkedIn. So thanks for watching on YouTube, Tommy. Skip, always good to see you. Thanks for watching us on Facebook. And we appreciate McKinnon Printing also shouting out and watching from Massachusetts. So make sure you say hello. This is a very casual session, so we'll make some time for Q&A. The goal today is really just help you to understand if you're using UltraColor MAX Direct to Film Transfer, some updates, how they'll impact your business. If you're not using them, hopefully we'll give you an introduction to a new product that can really change your business for the better. Eric, great to see you. Thanks for joining in live with us as well. And so with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just level set with everybody. And we have Shelby that'll be joining us. So I'm just going to unmute her for a second if you want to say hello, Shelby.
Hey guys.
So Shelby uses our UltraColor MAX product line, and the product line allows you to do a lot of different things. Number one, it's a direct to film transfer. What that means is it's a digital technology where you can do unlimited colors like you're seeing in the design on the shirt here and apply that to practically any garment. And so being able to do unlimited colors, apply it to any garment is going to really expand the product assortment for your business, and above all, allow you to say yes to more jobs. So I've talked to customers that have entered performance wear as a new category in their business. They were only doing direct to garment printing before. Now with transfers, with UltraColor MAX, they can do performance wear. I've talked to companies that are now doing additional product SKUs like headwear and backpacks because now they can decorate those fabrics with UltraColor MAX. So just being able to say yes, understanding what the product is going to cost you, and being able to just order and heat press is some of the beauty of UltraColor MAX. There are way less limitations than we've had with transfers ever before. You're able to do fine detail. You're able to do small left chest graphics. I even have some customers doing tagless transfers. All of it's possible with any type of logo. And best off, it's lightweight and durable. So something that feels good, something that's going to last. And so we've launched this product. It's been a little over a year. We actually launched this product back in November of 2021. It was our fastest growing product in 2022. And we have customers, some customers that have placed over 300 orders of UltraColor MAX just within 1 year. So we have literally customers that are nearly ordering it every day, and it's benefiting their business. And so as we talk about some of the big changes that we have out there for you, I'm excited to announce with UltraColor MAX, you can do on-demand decorating. So as of today, there are absolutely no order minimums with UltraColor MAX, and we've extended our shipping times. If you order by midnight, it will ship the very next business day. And so whether you're purchasing from Stalls or whether you're purchasing from Transfer Express, if you place your order by midnight, it will ship the next business day. Now that's on orders up to $600. If it's too large of an order, it may get pushed out a day, but it'll quote you in the cart. And there is absolutely no order minimum, which means you can now order one single piece of UltraColor MAX and get that shipped. So I'm going to explain how that's going to help you in your business today. And we're actually going to dive in with Shelby just in a moment so she can share as well. But before we go there, let me give you some very basics on how this works. And so number one is whether you're on stalls.com or whether you're on transferexpress.com, all you need to do is upload your artwork. All of the pricing for UltraColor MAX is calculated per square inch. So that means if you know the dimensions of your logo, the height multiplied by the width, you can come up with the total square inches in the design. On the right here, you're seeing this example. If this were 4 by 4 inches, it would be 16 square inches by multiplying the height by the width. And then we multiply that by 6 cents to get our cost, right? And so 16 square inches in this 4 by 4 logo multiplied by 6 cents equals 96 cents per design. That's how easy these transfers are. I wanted you to have some baseline of how you order it. And then I'm going to welcome in Shelby here, and we're going to talk about her business, how she's using UltraColor MAX, and then really how will change how she's ordering and perhaps how you're ordering to grow. So without further ado, welcome in, Shelby. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I love that you're rocking your Stalls ambassador shirt here. So
yeah, for sure. Super comfy.
So we're representing today. So talk to me a little bit. Give us a background on your business, where you're located, what you do in your business first off.
Yeah, so I'm down in Florida. We're actually moving up to Oldsmar here shortly. We got a new location. But we started about 2 years ago. We bought a small little shop. There wasn't much to it. And after going to the first trade show, I saw what Stalls was and what UltraColor MAX could do for us. So I bought a press on site, and I've been doing UltraColor MAX ever since. It's definitely my best selling point. I do more of that than screen printing, and I have that in-house. So UltraColor MAX has definitely elevated my business to the next level for sure.
Yeah, and it looks like you're doing quite a bit there. Let me zoom out a little bit. What's that nice machine you have there behind you?
Yeah, so that's the dual air fusion IQ press. I got that like 2 months ago because I had the auto clam and I was doing so much of it. I thought I needed a way to do it faster and be able to do more of it. So I got the one that's got 2 side by side.
Awesome. So while it's pressing one side, you're loading the other side to help eliminate that downtime.
Yep, exactly. So you're literally doing 2 at once. And I like it because you can be doing a left chest and a sleeve at the same time, just going back and forth.
Yeah, awesome. And I know it's a common story when people see direct-to-film transfers in UltraColor MAX, they use it almost exclusively for their business. So McKinnon Printing says almost exclusively, but also using Goof Proof, which is a screen printed transfer for single color work. So just to kind of cast that out there, what other transfer products are you using in your business except for UltraColor MAX?
So I do more patches and DTF than anything. I started using some of the what is it? The vinyl, the one that's easy to weed. Love that. But definitely more DTF and patches than anything else. Lots of leather patches, puff patches.
Yeah, so you're decorating a fair amount of headwear. I know we talked, and I've seen your work before we came on with the Hotronics 360 IQ hat press.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, lots of patches. I have my 2 hat presses side by side, so I can be doing 2 at once with that as well. Then the longer dwell times help with going back and forth.
Awesome. And I asked Shelby to email me some examples of orders that she's done through Stalls. And so this is one of Shelby's actual orders for UltraColor MAX. And for those of you that are buying it today, you know that there has been a $25 order minimum. And our maximum print size is and still is 22 by 22 inches. So what we're seeing on the screen is not uncommon for a lot of our customers using UltraColor MAX, where they take a lot of different designs, they group them up on what's called a gang sheet in order to meet the $25 minimum. And so this 22 by 22 inch gang sheet cost Shelby $29.04. She was able to fit 17 designs up. And so the cost per transfer, if we just divide it equally, is only $1.71 for a full color transfer. So not bad, but I do want to dive in a little bit on how that may change with our new update that there are no minimums with UltraColor MAX. But before we do that, kind of give us a rundown of the artwork we're looking at on the sheet. I know it didn't all translate perfectly, but we get the concept. And talk to us about the customers that you're decorating for.
Yeah, definitely. So there's lots of different customers on this one gang sheet. The biggest one in the middle, the Monsters one, that was for a Kingfish tournament. And they wanted to see the difference between it going dye sublimation or DTF. And this allowed me to do that, just one for them. And we ended up doing it in the DTF. Just the detail was much better than in dye sublimation. As well as I Drink of My Sister's one, that is for a big brewery, Seventh Sun here in Tampa Bay. We did that on the back of a bunch of jackets, and they wanted to see it and touch it, feel it for the first one. So we did that as well. And then below that, we have Differenza pools. they wanted a bunch of new shirts for their employees. So we did 2 sample ones for them just so they could see what it would feel like, because everyone wants to touch and feel it and see what it is. And then the bottom one was a veteran shirt. We ended up doing about 200 of those, I believe, after we did this one sample. The gang sheets have always helped me to do the samples, but putting that together takes a good 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on how many you're putting in it. This is one of the more simple ones that I've done.
And how many people do you have in your business right now, Shelby?
I've got 4 employees.
Okay,
So,
and
then 5
who does this work?
Me.
This is your work?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do all of the graphic design for us. So it definitely takes away a lot of time for me, like dealing with or managing clients. I have to set time aside for this.
Okay, and you mentioned you got the order, let's just say for the veteran design.
Yeah.
And how, so you were able to provide a sample just to dive a little bit deeper, and then they came back and ordered how many shirts again?
Yeah, we produced about 200 of them, I believe.
Okay, and so you came back and you ordered that again in UltraColor MAX, but you had to re-upload, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so I had to remake a whole new file for it.
Good. So there's the first thing that I wanted to get out there for our audience is the days of gang sheets for UltraColor MAX for direct-to-film transfers are done. Yes, if you must order that way, you can still order that way, but you can actually save a ton of time in the layout by just uploading the exact artwork that you need at the size that you needed at the quantity that you needed. And yes, you can still do one single piece, which is a great opportunity for sampling. And we would encourage you to still do that. And so in the future, if you wanted to actually order all of these, and I'm sure there's some extras on here to fill the space, right? But if you wanted to actually order all of these, you would just upload them individually at the sizes and the quantities that you want. You would populate one cart and you would check out all together. Now, the reason you would do that, of course, is because you want us to ship those together and save the freight. And so rather than you having to do the layout, what we would do at Stalls is we would actually take all of those logos. We have an automation that would nest them for you. You would still receive them in the exact same way, but you wouldn't have to do all the work, spend that 15 minutes grouping them up individually. So saves quite a bit of time in the process. Now, what I also want to show you, and I want to get live reaction here, is something that people often miss here, and I'll go to the next slide, is the cost. And so what I've done here is I've taken this green bar, and within reason, I've tried to place that green bar for all of the wasted space on the gang sheet that Shelby had paid for in her business.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And you actually did a really good job. I had trouble with this because you nested these really tight. But even so, I think there's probably 10, 15% of the 22 by 22 area that you're paying for that really you don't have to anymore. So
that's
I did some quick math, save 10% even at that. And now all of a sudden we're reducing our logo cost from $1.71 on average to $1.54.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah, and so I'm just curious, these, I noticed on a lot of your gang sheets that I looked for, you're ordering, this is your own company logo, correct?
Yep. So anything that I produce for like family or friends or any of my employees, it's branded on the sleeve with AWSOM Apparel. So, and a flag.
Yeah. And so let's just say that you wanted to just order these at the quantity you want and keep them in stock, and you didn't fill the blank space on each gang sheet. Although that is smart, you know, in the future, you won't have to do that. And so I always like to show, you know, if we take this gang sheet and get rid of the extras, this is what our order actually will look like, right? One of this, one of this, one of this, one of this, and then 2 of each of these is what that was accounted for. Now, we're getting some questions, but first I want to share some comments. So Skip's excited. I knew you would be, Skip, because Skip is our, I know, Shelby, you've probably talked to Skip in our Facebook group.
Yeah, a few times.
He's our resident hat master, and I know he uses a lot of UltraColor MAX on hats. And so the idea, you know, a hat print, what do you use for a hat print area? Like, what's your standard?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, like 2.25 is tallest I'll go typically.
Yeah. So if you did an UltraColor MAX transfer 2.25 by, let's say 3, you'd literally be able to order a few of those. And so I know, and I'll get on my calculator here.
Quick math.
Yeah, quick math. I'm not that quick at fractions. I'm going to use 2 inches for easy math. So 2 by 3, 6 square inches multiplied by 6 cents. So normally that would be 36 cents, right, per logo. Now, in the past, to reach the $25 order minimum, you would have to order 60 or 70 of those logos to reach the minimum. Or you'd have to spend the 15 minutes grouping that up with other logos to ultimately get to a gang sheet. Now what we're saying is that 36 cents, if you have a job for 6 hats or 12 hats, upload the logo and order them.
Yeah. And like it's going to get rid of a delay too, because I'll have clients that want just 1 or 2 hats. I'm like, all right, we got to wait for me to fill up a whole gang sheet. I'm not just going to order one for you. Like, I'll wait for more clients to want more stuff, and then eventually I'll order it. Like, usually it takes like 3 or 4 days, but that'll take that away like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point too. So, now I will say you probably, because we had a great cost here, or great comment here from Rolando, asked if is that was shipping cost or before. So the price is before shipping cost. And so that's an important point, Rolando. You're still going to pay shipping to take those orders and get them shipped to you. So I still would encourage, rather than you doing the nesting on the gang sheet in the art software before we get the stalls, what you want to do is fill your cart with as many jobs as you reasonably have to make sure you're not going to pay, I'm just going to make up a number, $15 in shipping for one 4x4 logo.
Yeah.
So still what you're doing with grouping up customer jobs at some frequency is great.
Yeah, but you could easily add that to like other orders too, like other patches and stuff, I assume.
Yeah, absolutely. And so group up your orders, check out in one cart, and that's always going to maximize the shipping, and it will quote you the shipping rate for each product right in the cart. So our friends over at Fresh Horizons Group watching on YouTube say the auto gang sheeting is awesome. So plus the time savings at $15 an hour would save another $7 on that. So this is what we are so excited to announce. I want to bring up another gang sheet that you've done just to make sure we're illustrating the concept fully here. And so I've seen it, and I didn't take the time to count all of these up, but I really, yeah, it is a lot. And I love, like, you literally rotated these and grouped them to fit every square inch.
I was on a mission.
Right. So I can't fit many green bars to show extra space here, maybe 1 or 2 here and there. But the point is, when you get the larger order and it comes time to reorder, this is just going to make it a lot easier. And so what I see with this is easier sampling, less waste, order just what you want. And then I also think that we will have businesses potentially, and you can answer this, Shelby, push more work into direct to film transfers. I mean, do you do screen printing in your business?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how easy is it? How are you sampling screen printing today?
Sampling screen printing, it's expensive. It's really expensive because, I mean, you have to factor in making the screens and the time it takes to make them and making the separations. Like, doing a sample for a 7-colored screen print job is going to take me just as long as if I was going to produce 100 of the shirts. I mean, it doesn't change anything. So it's still a good 3 hours of work for one shirt. Like, I mean, unless it's a simple 1-color design, that's one thing. But sampling, I typically sample with DTF. Yes.
Yeah, and even in like one color, like the last example we showed, I believe DTF and UltraColor MAX transfers still makes sense up to some pretty high quantities, just because of
absolutely
the simplicity and execution. Now, I do want to make sure that everybody realizes that these designs will still come on a roll. They will still come nested. Everything that's in your cart will be nested. There will be space to cut apart, but you still will have to trim apart the transfers in your business for now. And then ultimately, you just position them and heat apply them. And so I believe it's a leaner model. It's a little bit more of a scalable model, because I'm guessing it's probably easier to train somebody on the heat press to run it than it would be on the screen printing press.
So much easier. Yeah, definitely. Like, everyone knows how to use the screen or the new press back here, but I've got one guy plus myself that know how to use the screen print machine right now. Like, this is going more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and that's what we found, like, when the pandemic hit and still in the aftermath, businesses, what shops told us is that they were having a really hard time finding skilled labor, right? And retaining labor. And that was just a big challenge, especially for small to mid-sized businesses. So being able to base your growth around the heat press, like we sold a record number of dual air fusions like you have behind you there, because customers are like, okay, how can I get a piece of machinery that I can easily train somebody to operate, easily replace somebody if they decide to move on or not show up for work one day, and then ultimately scaling it and add more and get the highest output. So
yeah, I mean, there's videos everywhere too, so it's like I don't necessarily have to train every single person myself because you guys have all of the education is available online, so that makes it nice and easy too.
Good. Well, we appreciate it, and we thank you for coming on. We're going to stick around and take some questions, but just to catch everybody up, what we have announced today is direct to film on demand with UltraColor MAX. So no more minimum orders. Used to be $25 at stalls. We're not pushing you into a certain size of sheet in order to get no minimum. Literally just order the logo that you want. I believe our minimum logo size is a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. Our maximum is still 22 by 22 inches. And not only the no minimum, I don't want to miss this point. We knew what we heard is that people are intimidated to buy the printer and adopt the technology. And so one of our goals as a company is how can we not have you have that burden as an apparel decorator of running the printer and making sure that it's running, especially when we're in the early stages of the printer, and deliver it as fast as possible. And so we've also worked really hard to automate and push back our order cutoff. So order by midnight, and this is Eastern Standard Time, and it will ship next business day. We are currently manufacturing these at stalls in our Michigan location. We're manufacturing at Transfer Express in our Ohio location. This Ohio location, this offer matches for both of them. And then we're in the process of expanding out to the West Coast and building out manufacturing in our Arizona location. So speed is everything. I'm just curious, when you order transfers from us, how quick do you get them today?
It depends. Sometimes it's 3 days, but if I pay for the overnight shipping, I'll get it next day. But typically, if I don't pay for the extra shipping, it's 2 to 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 to 3 days. Yeah, and so I think that's typical transit time. From Michigan, where I believe you're ordering most of your stuff from. Correct?
Yeah.
So end to end, pretty quick. Let's take some questions here. That's a fun comment. This may make our in-house DTF process obsolete. I think people are having challenges with it, with who I'm talking to. Now I want to say I talk to about 20% of people realistically, or 10% of people that have invested in the equipment and they're very successful with it. But I would say the vast majority, especially in the small to mid-sized businesses, are just kind of burdening themselves with the printer.
And like I told you, I was out in Vegas at the Printing United show with you, and I was looking at all the DTF printers, like, because it is a newer technology. I was just curious, and I went through a couple of demos, and not many people could get through them without any errors. And it's because it is new technology, and it's something you guys have perfected. So I know I can rely on it it's consistent. It's always going to work every single time. So, I mean, it's more consistent for me. So why would I do anything different, you know?
Yeah, and what I like to tell people is if you think iPhones go out of style and update quickly, DTF printers, like the technology is moving so fast that if you were to invest in a printer as a small business, I feel like in 6 months, the next one's going to be out.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's worth it. It's much more cost effective, in my opinion, to just be ordering it from you guys, because it takes the stress off of me having to do it.
Yeah, and I don't have any fancy graphics for this, but I don't want to lose this point because I think a lot of small businesses fail to calculate like the safety aspects to running these printers in-house. And I'm pleased to announce that not only are the transfers CPSIA certified, which means safe for children's apparel, but they're now Ecotech certified, which is even a more strict European certification, as well as Nike RSL certified, which is their restricted substance list. And so they are completely safe for apparel decorators to use. And you just don't know all the components of the ink, the adhesive, powders that are involved in the process. And at stalls, we give you those certificates and those guarantees. So we got some comment. Great news. Glad you mentioned midnight EST. Yeah, I know some people work the night shift and may want midnight West Coast. So I'm sorry, West Coasters, you'll have to settle for 9 p.m. It's definitely midnight Eastern Standard Time right now. But we are going to keep working to push those times back. Got some other questions coming in. My friends over at KC Swagger, Gina says, love the turn time. Do you have to order through stalls or through TE or either or? So I'm excited to say either or. The offer is matched and they're both live and launched. you may have some feedback on this, Shelby. Small startup, how long are the transfers shelf life stable before using? So how long have you stored these transfers and still used them?
I mean, I've got some that are well over a year old. I mean, they all work. I just keep them all sealed in little select baggies in a file on my shelf. They're all right there, so I can just pull them out when I need them. I've never had one go bad. I mean, I don't think there is a time stamp, is there? You just have to keep them in a climate controlled room.
Yeah, keep them in a nice climate controlled room. If we can, keep them free of humidity. And so sealing them in that bag is a great tip. I even know some people that'll put the desiccant packs in to keep the moisture out is another thing you can do. Good. And so Jimmy says, would these logos still be delivered on a gang sheet or would they be individually trimmed? So they will be still delivered on a gang sheet. You'll have to trim those with scissors. Again, we understand you guys want them individually trimmed, so we are working rapidly on that, but you're gonna have to wait a little while on that one. And then Chip says titanium and white pigment is not a piezo jet's friend, no matter what tech or printer comes out. Yeah, so print head clogging with white ink is a major challenge with direct-to-garment printing for sure, as well as direct-to-film. And how does this impact other DTF products such as UltraColor Pro, Soft, etc.? So right now, no change to UltraColor Pro or Soft. What we're talking about is exclusively our UltraColor MAX. Order by midnight, ships next business day. No minimum order is the offer that we just announced. All right. I love this question because Shelby, I love having you live here. So we have a startup business that wants to know what should they start with. So what did you start with? Let's start there.
I started with the auto clam. So simple one, you got 3 buttons on it and you just gotta click through the settings. I mean, once you have it set, you're not changing it anyways for each job. So that was definitely the best investment I made starting out.
Yeah. So that's the Hotronics auto clam. I have one on the floor in the corner back here. It's sitting down there looking sad beside my countertop. Yeah, I'll move it up there, but right now I have my 360 behind me here. But I agree with that recommendation. I love the either auto clam or the manual fusion is great for a high quality heat press for a startup. And I would encourage you, Maria, basic equipment to start with, just start with the heat press and order transfers. It's simple.
I feel like the hat press would be the next thing. I mean, one order of 100 hats, that hat press is paid for itself. Easy.
Yeah, that's another good point. And you know, I think that's one of the big things is we have like I've seen it at trade shows, and I'm getting ready to go to a trade show a little later this week out in Long Beach, is a new decorator will come through and they have good credit potentially, and they've gotten approved for this financing amount. And so they go around like, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. And then it's just them or maybe them and one other person in the business. And now they have to learn embroidery, screen printing, heat transfer, direct to film printing, direct to garment, all this equipment. So I would say don't saddle yourself with technology. Pick something, keep it simple and be successful. Because you actually mentioned earlier that you kind of came into the business, right? From your
I kind of fell into my lap. But definitely I feel like starting with one piece of equipment and mastering that one before you move to another, because there's a learning curve to anything you do. I mean, especially in this industry, there's so many different things to go with. So definitely pick the one, learn that, and then do the next. Like I know how to operate all the equipment in my shop and I've got lots of it, but it took lots of time and I slowly acquired everything one by one. I think the closest I ever bought machines together was a good like 3 or 4 months apart. And that was tough. It was tough learning how to do those both at the same time.
Yeah. It's I can't imagine. And I feel so bad, right? Because then you say, hey, I have this for sale, or you have this lease payment and you're really not, or a financing payment, you're not getting the revenue on all of these technologies.
Exactly. So do one thing and do it really well and then add to it.
So we just described silly plants to a T. Don't worry, silly plants. There are many others like you. You're not alone. If you've already made that decision to invest in all this equipment, I would say try to get to ROI on one piece of equipment, start with your customer and grow out from there. Yeah. And then Jeremy, thanks for joining. I see your comment in the back there. Would love to meet your friend at ISS and connect with him. All right, lots of questions coming in. This was just an impromptu live that we scheduled this morning. I was talking to Shelby. I actually saw her share that image, or an image of a gang sheet
Yeah.
the other day, and I'm like, hey, guess what's coming? Can you join me Monday? And we're so
Yes.
excited to announce this.
Oh, the one that you saw had 29 different pieces on there for 9 different clients. It was a big one. That one was packed tight.
Yeah, it was. And so, you know, we're not going to prevent you from ganging. So if somebody wants to gang for a certain reason, like, I don't know, I'll just take the moon on the screen, right? If I wanted to fit 2 of those into each other, like 2 C's interlocking and run the scissors, like there's still going to be some case for ganging if you really want to trim the pennies. But I think with the time that you'll save and the speed that you'll gain in ordering and reordering, this is a no-brainer. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us. We have lots of hand claps, lots of excitement. We have people watching from LinkedIn loving the idea. So lots of opportunity across the board. Most of all, I want to say that this is a game changer for sure. And I agree with those sentiments exactly. What we believe is that this will allow everybody to participate in print on demand. And for those of you that may already be in the e-commerce space watching this, and you're doing a really high volume of orders, and you don't even want to mess with placing the order on the Stalls website, I'm also excited to say that we have a new API developed where we can engage with you to be able to automate that order and that transaction to save you lots of time and money. So any final thoughts, any final tips for apparel decorators before we let you go and conclude this, Shelby?
No, I think my favorite part is the minimums are gone, because that's like the biggest question in our industry is, what's the minimum? There isn't one.
Yeah, price is simple, no minimums, make the sample, just go. All right.
Exactly.
I want to thank you again for joining us, for sharing your experience. And I really want to thank everybody for joining live and watching. Go to the Stalls website, go to the Transfer Express website, order 1 piece and try UltraColor MAX. I promise you, your customers will love it. All right, we'll see you. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everyone.